Hi guys, this is my latest video. Probably a bit boring to some, but interesting for others. I'm going to just have a very quick talk through, just like 10-15 minutes hopefully, of just cam angles with VVT and its effects on spool and ultimate output of boost. We're going to be using Sam's Volvo C30. He has very kindly bolted on a Garrett GT30 for us to play with. This is the B5254, I believe off the top of my head is what they call it. Similar engine to the Focus ST and the RS, all of those things. So we have variators on both the inlet and the exhaust, and we're gonna run it on the dyno with the cam locked at various angles, and we're gonna just bring up on the screen boost and power, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. I know I do whenever I do these things. Now, this is a very basic video. We're just going to lock the cam, as I say, at various different angles, and at the end of the video, hopefully, we'll just make like a very quick cam angle map, just very basic, based on what we can see on the screen. Obviously, this is not how you would go about normally tuning it, but it'll get you somewhere there. And like I say, it's just interesting based on what we can actually see on the screen with regards to boost. This car, as I say, is Sam's. He's very kindly lent us it. Hopefully you're right with that, Sam. But anyway, Sam has built this car. It's got a forged engine going in this soon. We have been fortunate enough to be involved and entrusted into building a plug-and-play solution for this car. On a side note, that will be a working example for most ME9 powered T5 engined Volvos. We've gone in depth into reverse engineering the CAN bus, so all of the lights work on the dashboard. We've got all various cool things as well, so you can have still you can have your cruise control on your steering wheel, or if you were you know, somewhat differently programmed like myself, you could have launch control and anti-lag on those cruise control buttons, all of those cool bits and pieces that you can do with a CAN bus system. So we have been using his car to do this on, we're now in a point where it's all running and we're able to run the vehicle and tune it. So he has a forged engine going in this. In the future, it's also worth noting that he's put the Volvo Haldex in from a V70. Very nice. So ultimately, this is going to be a 500 or 600 horsepower four-wheel drive C30 at the end of next year, hopefully. So for today's exercise, we will be running on actuator pressure. That's about 7 pounds of boost. And we won't be touching anything to do with the boost control. It will be as it is. So what you see is essentially any changes you're getting are literally just bound through cam angles. We're going to leave our AFR is going to be targeted at 12.5 AFR. So we're going to leave that standard, so any changes won't be affected by fueling. The timing, I've got a very basic timing map in there now. I will just be checking for knock, make sure we don't get any knock, but other than that, it's all going to stay fairly as it is. So yeah, hopefully you find it interesting. I really hope you do. I know I'm sort of in the beginnings of my YouTube videos, but again, let's get this going. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. Yeah, let's run it up.
Right, okay, so we're onto the dyno screen now. Hopefully you can see it all right. What I've done is I've set for hands-free graphing. Now what that does, it means we get the exact same test over and over again. It will allow me to drive up into 4th gear up to 37 miles an hour. It's going to hold the dyno. I'm going to put my foot right to the floor. It's going to hold it to stabilise for 10 whole seconds, and then it's going to do a sweep at a ramp rate of 80, and then it's going to, which is quite slow. I want to see as much information as I can in A, the data logs on the ECU, and B, on the dyno. I want to see what spool we're getting and where it's happening, and the end speed of 133 miles an hour. So on the screen here you'll see this is wheel horsepower here, and this is boost. So obviously we've got quite a big turbo on this car. So the best thing to do, I suppose, and up here you'll see that I've put the exact test details here. So it's just 0 degrees on both the inlet and the exhaust cam. So we'll do a run now, see exactly what's happening, and then we'll start playing with the exhaust and the inlet camshafts and see what happens. So let's give this a run now. Okay, so the inlet cam at 15 degrees has already pulled us lots of spool, loads more early power. So I'm going to do the inlet camshaft initially into, I've done it 15 degrees, I'm going to do 30 and then we'll do 45 and then we'll play around with the exhaust camshaft already. So let's set this now to 30, we'll do another run, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, I stopped the run early there. It was quite obviously not doing anything. We started to run quite rich here, and it sort of had a little bit of a misfire. So I think we can disregard that at 45 degrees we're actually doing anything worth the bother past here anyway. So we'll keep this in here now for a minute anyway. But already, just by playing with our inlet camshaft, we're very nearly 900 revs earlier in regards to sort of spool. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to reset this inlet camshaft back to 0, and then we'll just have a play with the exhaust camshaft in the same manner, and then hopefully a couple of 3 runs with going up through in our exhaust camshaft, and then we'll interpolate like a camshaft map wide open. And we'll just see what we can do, see if we can get the best of both of it. This is, as I say, wide open throttle only. It's only just spool, just wide open, see what we can do just with camshaft. It's quite interesting already, but yeah, we'll play around now with the exhaust cam and see what goes down. Okay, so ultimately exhaust camshaft is making the engine more efficient in boost, but it's not actually bringing our spool any further forward. This is 0 and 30. There's such marginal difference that I just put these in here just so that it's easier to see. So what I'm going to do now is build up like a very quick table just to keep our camshafts efficient. We're just going to build a very basic table based upon the information we've got here. Obviously, once we've got like a basic exhaust and intake camshaft map in there, we can then tweak around both of those based on if this is at 10 and this is at 30, it's going to be obviously different. So ultimately what I would do now, for the sake of this video, we're just going to build up a very quick camshaft map based on that. Ultimately, normally I would run 0 here and 30 here and then 10 and then 30 and then 15, like so that I've got a graph with every single combination in 10s or 15s depending on what we're doing. But as I say, this is just for a quick YouTube video, so I'll go and build that now and we'll run that up, and then we'll see what that does, and then we'll get our end results. So there we have it. This is the very first run we did with 0 cam degrees in both the exhaust and the inlet, and then this is the final you know, very basic cam tune that we've done on this vehicle. So you can see we're actually running more power, less boost. We've pulled far earlier spool in. It's literally spooling you know, 500 revs or more earlier. Bear in mind, this is actuator pressure. It's just literally you know, as it's coming out. We'll be able to pull a little bit in, hopefully, with you know, playing around with our boost control solenoid. So let's just pull up torque. Oh, there we go. So you know, the torque is far smoother. It's far less steep. It's literally all of the early drivability of the car is going to be improved massively. To boot, we've got a little bit of horsepower out of it at less boost. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I can now go in and steady state this, just try and tweak it about a bit and just see where I can get it. But ultimately, that's a very rough cam angle map done.
There we go. I do hope you found it interesting. Like I say, you can hopefully get an idea of what's going on. There's so much involved in depth in cam angles, overlaps, and all of those things. Now, there are plenty of resources online that you can go and look into. This was just purely a practical example of what it's actually doing. I genuinely hope you find it interesting. Even better, I hope you find it useful. Hopefully you may use some of this information in the future in something you do. Anyway, look forward to seeing you in the next video. I've got another video on how we actually reverse engineered some of this CAN bus in this car, which again, if you're that way inclined, you may find it interesting if you can cope with my Somerset tones for much longer than this video. Anyway, please remember, it helps me if you like and subscribe and all of those things. Until next time, this is Steve from over at PVE in Somerset. Have a wonderful day.